The morning rain drummed against the windows of Betty's diner as Maya wiped down the counter for the third time that hour. Tuesday mornings were always slow, giving her too much time to think about her own problems. The coffee was fresh. The pie display was perfectly arranged, and she had already refilled all the salt shakers twice. At 24, Maya had been working at this little diner for 3 years, saving every penny she could for nursing school. The tips weren't great, but the regular customers treated her like family, and that meant everything to someone who had grown up in foster care. The bell above the door chimed softly, and Maya looked up to see a young woman step inside, shaking, raindrops from her long brown hair. She carried a small boy who couldn't have been more than 3 years old. The child's cheeks were red from the cold, and his mother's jacket looked like it had seen better days. Maya noticed how the woman's eyes quickly scanned the diner, taking in every corner before choosing the booth furthest from the windows. "Good morning," Maya called out with her usual warm smile. "Grab any seat you like, I'll be right with you." The woman nodded gratefully and slid into the corner booth, settling her son beside her. The little boy immediately pressed his face against the window, drawing circles in the condensation with his tiny finger. His mother gently pulled his hand away and whispered something that made him giggle softly. Maya approached their table with 2 menus, though she noticed the woman barely glanced at hers. Instead, she was busy entertaining her son with silly faces and quiet peekaboo games. The love between them was obvious, but Maya couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The woman kept checking her phone every few minutes, and her eyes darted toward the door whenever someone walked by outside. "What can I get started for you folks today?" Maya asked, crouching down to the little boy's level. "And what's your name, sweetie?" "Tommy," the boy said proudly, holding up 3 fingers. "I'm 3. 3 whole years old? Wow, you're practically grown up." Maya laughed. "Do you like pancakes, Tommy?" Before the boy could answer, his mother quickly intervened. "We'll just have coffee and maybe some fries to share," she said quietly. "And could I get some extra napkins, please?" Maya glanced at the menu prices and then back at the woman's worried expression. Something in her gut told her this wasn't about food preferences. "The coffee's fresh, and I'll make sure those fries are extra crispy," she said gently. "Tommy, do you want some apple juice to go with that?" The woman started to protest, but Maya held up her hand. "It's on the house. We always have extra juice boxes that need to be used up." 15 minutes later, Maya returned with their order, plus a small plate of crackers shaped like animals that she had grabbed from the children's menu supplies. Tommy's eyes lit up as he started making the crackers talk to each other in different voices. His mother watched him with such pure joy that it made Maya's heart ache. "Thank you," the woman whispered. "You didn't have to do that." "Every kid deserves animal crackers," Maya replied with a wink. "Makes everything taste better." As the morning wore on, Maya found herself checking on their table more often than necessary. She noticed how the woman, who had introduced herself only as Lisa, let Tommy eat most of the fries while she nursed her single cup of coffee. Lisa would tear tiny pieces off the crackers and eat them slowly, making each bite last as long as possible. Around 11 o'clock, the diner started filling up with the lunch crowd. Maya got busy taking orders and serving food, but she kept one eye on the corner booth. She watched Lisa count and recount the crumpled bills from her purse, her face growing more worried each time. When Tommy asked for more juice, Lisa distracted him with a game instead. "Mommy, I'm still hungry," Tommy said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. Lisa's cheeks turned red as she looked around nervously. "We'll eat more when we get home, baby," she whispered. "Remember our game about patience?" Maya's heart broke a little more. She had seen this before during her own childhood. Bouncing between foster homes where money was always tight, she knew the look of a parent trying to make nothing stretch into something. During a brief lull in orders, Maya grabbed a kid's meal box and filled it with chicken strips, apple slices, and a chocolate chip cookie. She wrote "Tommy" on the box in colorful markers and approached their table. "Tommy, I have a special delivery for you," she announced cheerfully. "Our cook made too much food and we can't let it go to waste. Would you help us out by taking this home?" Tommy clapped his hands excitedly. But Lisa immediately shook her head. "We can't accept that. You've already been too kind." "Actually, you'd be helping me out," Maya said, sitting down across from them. "If we don't use up our extra food, it just gets thrown away at the end of the day. Health department rules, and honestly, seeing this little guy smile is worth more than any tip." Lisa's eyes filled with tears that she quickly blinked away. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to thank me. Just take care of each other." As they prepared to leave, Lisa carefully counted out exact change for their bill, leaving no room for a tip. Maya could see the embarrassment in her face, the way she kept apologizing under her breath. "Ma'am," Maya called out as they reached the door. "You forgot something." She hurried over with a to-go bag containing extra napkins, plastic utensils, and a few juice boxes she had slipped inside. "For the road," she said simply. Lisa hugged the bag close to her chest. "You're an angel," she whispered. "I won't forget. This kindness. Everyone needs a little help sometimes," Maya replied. "That's what community is for." As Maya watched them walk away into the drizzling rain, Lisa holding Tommy's hand protectively while carrying their unexpected gifts, she made a mental note to watch for them again. Something told her their story was far from over, and she wanted to be ready to help however she could. The rest of the lunch rush passed in a blur of orders and conversations, but Maya couldn't stop thinking about the grateful look in Lisa's eyes or the way Tommy had waved goodbye with both hands. She had learned long ago that small gestures could mean the world to someone having their worst day. Little did Maya know that this simple act of kindness was just the beginning of a story that would change all their lives in ways none of them could imagine. 3 days later, Maya was refilling the coffee machine when she spotted the familiar brown hair through the diner window. Lisa was back, holding Tommy's hand as they approached the entrance. Maya felt a genuine smile spread across her face as she watched the little boy skip excitedly toward the door, clearly remembering their last visit. "Well, look who's back," Maya called out warmly as they entered. "Tommy, my friend, how are those animal crackers treating you?" Tommy giggled and ran straight to the same corner booth they had occupied before. "Maya! Maya! We came back!" Lisa followed more slowly, offering a shy smile. "He's been asking about you every day," she admitted. "I hope it's okay that we're here again." "Are you kidding? This just became the best part of my shift," Maya said, genuinely meaning it. "Let me get you both settled." As the days turned into weeks, their visits became a regular routine. Lisa would arrive every Tuesday and Friday around 10 in the morning, always choosing the same corner booth. Maya began to piece together small details about their life from casual conversations and careful observations. Lisa was new to town, having arrived just a month ago with nothing but 2 suitcases and her son. She was staying in a weekly rental motel across town, the kind of place that charged by the week and didn't ask too many questions. Maya learned this when Tommy innocently mentioned that their house had a vending machine in the hallway. "We're looking for a real house," Lisa had explained quietly while Tommy colored on napkins, "somewhere with a yard where he can play safely." Maya also discovered that Lisa was desperately searching for work. She had some experience as a medical assistant, but couldn't provide references from her previous job. During their conversations, Lisa would carefully avoid talking about where they had come from or why they had moved. Whenever Tommy started to mention their old house or ask about Daddy, Lisa would quickly distract him with games or change the subject. "Mommy used to work at the doctor place," Tommy announced one morning while eating the free crackers Maya always brought. "She helped sick people feel better." "That sounds like important work," Maya said, noting how Lisa's shoulders tensed at the mention of her past job. "It was," Lisa replied carefully. "But sometimes life takes you in new directions." Maya began finding creative ways to help without making Lisa feel like charity. She would accidentally make too much soup and ask if they wanted to help her out by taking some home. She discovered that the diner often received promotional items from food suppliers and started setting aside juice boxes, granola bars, and other kid-friendly snacks for Tommy. "The bread company sent us way too many rolls again," Maya would say casually. "My manager says I can take them home, but I live alone." Would you mind helping me out? Lisa always accepted these offerings gracefully, understanding the kindness behind the white lies. In return, she began helping Maya with small tasks around the diner. She would wipe down tables while Tommy played quietly or fold napkins during slow periods. Her gentle nature and genuine gratitude endeared her to the other staff members as well. One particularly busy Friday, Maya watched Lisa count her money 3 times before ordering. The usual coffee and fries had become their standard order, but today Lisa hesitated even longer than usual. "Just coffee today," Lisa finally said. "Tommy's not very hungry." Maya glanced at the little boy who was pressing his face against the window and talking to an imaginary friend. He looked thin, and she realized it had been this way for weeks. Her heart ached as she understood what was really happening. "You know what?" Maya said, disappearing into the kitchen. She returned with a full plate of scrambled eggs, toast, and bacon. "The customer at table 6 ordered this but had to leave for an emergency. Hate to see good food go to waste." Lisa's eyes filled with grateful tears as Tommy clapped his hands at the sight of real breakfast. Maya made a mental note to talk to her manager about finding Lisa some work at the diner. That afternoon, Maya approached Jerry, the diner's owner, during her break. Jerry was a gruff man in his 60s who had owned the place for 30 years, but Maya knew he had a soft spot for people in need. "Jerry, you know that woman who comes in with her little boy? Lisa? The polite one who always sits in the corner? Nice lady, good kid too. She's looking for work and she has medical experience. I was thinking maybe we could use some help during our busy periods." Jerry considered this while counting the day's receipts. "Can't afford to hire anyone full-time, you know that. What about part-time? Maybe covering some of my shifts when I need to study for nursing school?" Jerry looked at Maya over his reading glasses. "You're trying to help her out, aren't you?" Maya nodded honestly. "She's a good person, Jerry. She's just going through a tough time. Bring her in tomorrow morning, we'll see what we can work out." The next day, Maya could barely contain her excitement as she approached Lisa's table. "I have some news that might interest you," she said, sitting down across from them. "Our owner is looking for someone to help out during busy times. It's not full-time, but it's something." Lisa's eyes widened. "Are you serious? Here at the diner?" "Jerry wants to meet you tomorrow if you're interested. The pay isn't amazing, but there are tips and you could bring Tommy with you during slower periods." Lisa grabbed Maya's hand across the table. "I can't believe this. I've been applying everywhere, but most places want references I can't provide, or they need someone available for overnight shifts." "Jerry's more interested in good character than paperwork," Maya assured her. "And he's already seen how responsible you are." Tommy looked up from his coloring. "Mommy, does this mean we can stay here, in the town with Maya?" Lisa's smile was brighter than Maya had ever seen it. "It means we have a chance, sweetheart. A real chance." As the weeks passed and Lisa began working at the diner, Maya learned more about her new friend. Lisa was incredibly hardworking, arriving early and staying late. She had a natural way with customers and seemed to genuinely enjoy the work. Tommy became the unofficial diner mascot, charming regular customers with his polite manners and infectious giggle. But Maya also noticed that Lisa remained guarded about her past. She never talked about Tommy's father, and whenever anyone asked about their previous home, Lisa would change the subject quickly. She also seemed constantly alert, always checking the door when new customers entered, and Maya caught her looking over her shoulder more than once while walking to her car. Despite these mysteries, Maya was happy to see Lisa and Tommy thriving. They had moved from the motel into a small apartment above the hardware store, and Tommy had started attending a local daycare center that offered scholarships for working mothers. One evening, as they were closing up together, Lisa turned to Maya with tears in her eyes. "I need you to know how much this means to me," she said quietly. "You saved us. I don't think you realize how close we were to having nothing." Maya hugged her friend tightly. "Everyone deserves a fresh start," she said. "I'm just glad I could help." Neither of them knew that this fresh start was about to be threatened by shadows from Lisa's past that were slowly catching up to them. It was a busy Thursday afternoon when Maya's world turned upside down. The lunch rush was in full swing, and she was balancing 3 plates on one arm while refilling coffee cups with the other. Lisa was working the other side of the diner, her gentle smile putting nervous first-time customers at ease. Tommy sat in his usual corner booth, quietly working on a coloring book that one of the regular customers had brought him. Maya was heading to table 7 when she caught fragments of a conversation from 2 men in expensive suits sitting near the window. Their voices carried over the general chatter of the diner, and something about their serious tone made her slow down to listen. "The investigation is expanding to this area," the older man was saying, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses as he spoke. "Harrison Industries is putting serious money behind finding them." Maya felt her stomach tighten. Something about the way he said "finding them" sent chills down her spine. She pretended to wipe down the neighboring table, moving closer to hear more clearly. "How long has it been now?" the younger man asked, pulling out his phone to check something. 6 months since she disappeared with the kid? 7 months next week. David Harrison is getting desperate. He's hired 3 different private investigation firms now. The reward money keeps going up too. Maya's hands trembled as she continued cleaning the already spotless table. Her eyes darted toward Lisa, who was laughing at something a customer had said, completely unaware of the conversation happening just 20 feet away. "What's the current amount?" the younger man continued. $50,000 for information leading to their location. Harrison claims his ex-wife kidnapped their son and violated custody agreements, says she's mentally unstable and dangerous. Maya's blood ran cold. She glanced again at Lisa, who was gently helping an elderly customer read the menu. Dangerous? The Lisa she knew couldn't hurt a fly. She was one of the kindest, most caring people Maya had ever met. "Apparently she has some medical training," the older man added, consulting a folder he'd pulled from his briefcase. "Used to work as a medical assistant before she married Harrison. That's why they're checking medical facilities and clinics. In small towns." Maya's heart pounded so loudly she was sure everyone could hear it. Medical training, small town, a single mother with a 3-year-old boy. The pieces were falling into place like a terrible puzzle. "The investigators think she might be using a different name," the conversation continued. "They're looking for a woman, mid-20s, brown hair, traveling with a young boy. Harrison says she's probably working in healthcare or service industry. Jobs." Maya forced herself to keep moving, delivering plates to other tables while her mind raced. She watched Lisa interact with customers, noting details she had never connected before. Lisa never talked about Tommy's father. She always paid in cash. She seemed constantly nervous about something. And now Maya understood why Lisa never provided references for her previous job. When the 2 men finally left, Maya felt like she could breathe again, but the relief was temporary. Throughout the rest of her shift, she found herself studying Lisa with new eyes. Was her friend really in danger? Or was she the dangerous one these men were talking about? That evening, after the diner closed, Maya sat in her car in the parking lot, staring at her phone. She had looked up Harrison Industries and found dozens of articles about David Harrison, a wealthy factory owner who had built a manufacturing empire across 3 states. The photos showed a stern-looking man in his 40s with cold eyes and an arrogant smile. Maya scrolled through news articles about his recent divorce. The headlines painted a picture of a bitter custody battle, with Harrison's lawyers claiming his ex-wife had abducted their child and fled the state. But as Maya read deeper, she found other details that made her uneasy. There were mentions of Harrison's controlling nature and aggressive business tactics. One article quoted a former employee saying Harrison didn't like it when people didn't follow his rules exactly. The more Maya read, the more she understood why someone might want to run away from David Harrison. The man seemed used to getting his way through money and intimidation. Maya thought about Lisa's constant nervousness, the way she jumped whenever a car door slammed outside, how she always positioned herself where she could see both exits of the diner. Over the next few days, Maya watched Lisa more carefully. She noticed that Lisa never talked on the phone where anyone could hear her. She paid for everything in cash, even small purchases like Tommy's coloring books. And whenever anyone asked personal questions, Lisa had a way of deflecting with gentle humor or by asking questions about the other person instead. Maya also started noticing things about Tommy that she had missed before. The little boy sometimes mentioned things that didn't quite add up. He talked about their old house having a big swimming pool and lots of rooms. He mentioned having a nanny who used to read him stories. These weren't the memories of a child from a struggling single-parent household, but Maya also saw the genuine love between Lisa and Tommy. The way Lisa would sacrifice her own meals to make sure Tommy ate enough. How she would stay up late helping him with simple learning games, teaching him letters and numbers. The protective way she held him when they walked to and from the diner. Whatever had penned in their past, Maya was certain that Lisa was a devoted mother who would do anything to keep her son safe. The breaking point came on a Friday evening. Maya was getting ready to leave when she saw Lisa standing by the diner's back door, talking quietly on her phone. Something about Lisa's posture, the way she kept looking around nervously, made Maya pause. "I know we can't stay much longer," Lisa was saying in a voice so quiet Maya had to strain to hear. "But he's happy here, and I finally have a job. Just give me a little more time." Maya couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but she watched Lisa's face crumble with worry. "You're right. It's too risky. If they're expanding the search to this area." Lisa's voice trailed off as she noticed Maya standing nearby. "Everything okay?" Maya asked gently. Lisa quickly ended her call and forced a smile. "Oh yes, just talking to an old friend." But Maya could see the tears in Lisa's eyes and the way her hands were shaking. "Lisa, if something's wrong, you can tell me. Maybe I can help." For a moment, Lisa looked like she might open up. Her lips parted as if she was about to speak, but then she shook her head. "You've already helped us more than you know. I just need to figure out our next step." "Next step? Are you thinking about leaving?" Lisa looked toward the dining room where Tommy was stacking napkins into neat piles, humming quietly to himself. "Sometimes staying in one place too long isn't safe," she said cryptically. That night, Maya lay awake thinking about everything she had learned. If Lisa really was David Harrison's ex-wife, then she was in serious danger. The men at the diner had made it clear that Harrison had resources and determination. But they had also painted Lisa as the villain in their story, and that didn't match the woman Maya knew. Maya thought about the fear she saw in Lisa's eyes whenever unexpected customers entered the diner. She remembered how Lisa had once mentioned that Tommy's father was controlling, but had never elaborated. She considered the way Lisa always seemed to be looking over her shoulder, as if expecting someone to find them. By morning, Maya had made her decision. Whatever the truth was about Lisa's past, she believed in the woman she had come to know. Lisa was kind, hardworking, and clearly devoted to protecting her son. If powerful men were hunting her down, then Maya was going to do everything she could to help her friend stay safe. Maya just hoped she wouldn't be too late. The conversation she had overheard suggested that the investigators were getting closer, and she had a sinking feeling that their peaceful life at the diner was about to be shattered. Maya's worst fears came true on a quiet Monday morning. She was opening the diner, humming softly while she prepared the coffee machine, when she noticed two unfamiliar men sitting in a black sedan across the street. They had been there for 20 minutes, just watching the building. Something about their stillness made her nervous. At exactly 9:30, the same time Lisa usually arrived for her shift, the men got out of their car. Maya's heart sank as she recognized one of them from the conversation she had overheard weeks earlier. The older man with wire-rimmed glasses walked purposefully toward the diner entrance, followed by a younger man carrying what looked like official documents. "Good morning," the older man said as they entered, his voice polite but cold. "We're looking for information about someone who might work here." Maya forced herself to stay calm, continuing to wipe down the counter as if nothing was wrong. "Well, we're a small place. I know everyone who works here. What can I help you with?" The man pulled out a photograph and placed it on the counter. Maya's stomach dropped as she saw a professional headshot of Lisa, though she looked different in the picture. Her hair was styled differently, and she wore expensive jewelry and makeup. But it was definitely her friend. "Have you seen this woman? She might be going by a different name now." We believe she's working in this area, possibly in food service or healthcare. Maya looked at the photo, then back at the men, keeping her expression neutral. I've never seen her before. What's this about? She's wanted in connection with a custody violation, the younger man explained, pulling out an official-looking document. She illegally removed her child from his father's custody and has been hiding for months. We're authorized to investigate any leads. Maya felt anger rising in her chest. She thought about Lisa's gentle nature, the way she protected Tommy, the fear that was always present in her eyes. Well, like I said, I've never seen her. Sorry, I can't help. The older man studied Maya's face carefully. You're sure? There might be a reward for information? I'm sure, Maya said firmly. Now, can I get you gentlemen some coffee? We have fresh pie, too. After the men left, Maya immediately called Lisa's cell phone. It went straight to voicemail. She tried 3 more times with the same result. Panic started building in her chest as she realized Lisa was supposed to be at work by now. Maya decided to close the diner early and drive to Lisa's apartment. She had never been there before, but she knew it was above Miller's hardware store on 3rd Street. When she arrived, she could see Lisa through the window, frantically packing clothes into a worn suitcase while Tommy sat on the bed, looking confused and scared. Maya knocked softly on the door. Lisa, it's me. Maya. The door opened immediately, revealing Lisa's tear-streaked face. They found us, didn't they? I saw the car this morning when I was walking Tommy to daycare. I recognized one of the investigators from before. They came to the diner asking questions, Maya confirmed, stepping inside the small apartment. I told them I'd never seen you, but I don't think they believed me. Lisa continued throwing clothes into the suitcase with shaking hands. We have to leave, today, right now. I was hoping we'd have more time, but it's not safe anymore. Tommy looked up at Maya with wide, frightened eyes. Are we moving again, Mommy? I don't want to leave Maya. Lisa knelt down beside her son, taking his small hands in hers. Remember what we talked about, sweetheart? Sometimes we have to go on adventures to stay safe. This is one of those times. Maya watched this heartbreaking scene and made a decision that would change everything. Where will you go? Do you have money? A place to stay? I have enough for bus tickets to the next state, Lisa said quietly. After that, I'll figure something out. I always do. Maya thought about the small savings account she had been building for nursing school. 3 years of careful budgeting and every tip she could save. It wasn't much, but it might be enough to help Lisa and Tommy start over somewhere, safe. What if I told you there was another option? Maya said slowly. Lisa stopped packing and looked at her friend with desperate hope. What do you mean? Maya took a deep breath. My grandmother passed away 2 years ago and left me her cabin up in the mountains. It's about 4 hours north of here in a tiny town called Pine Ridge. Nobody knows about it except me, and I've been meaning to sell it but never got around to it. Maya, I can't ask you to... You're not asking, I'm offering. Maya pulled out her phone and showed Lisa photos she had taken of the cabin last summer. It's completely furnished, and the utilities are still connected. There's a small town nearby, with a medical clinic that might need help. It's isolated enough that no one would think to look there. Lisa stared at the photos with tears streaming down her face. This is too much. You barely know me, and I can't even tell you the whole truth about our situation. I know enough, Maya said firmly. I know you're a good mother who's trying to protect her son. I know you're kind and hardworking, and I know that whatever you're running from is scary enough that you'd rather live in poverty than go back to... Maya went to her purse and pulled out her bank card and a folded piece of paper. There's about $8,000 in this account. It's my college fund, but college can wait. And here's the deed to the cabin. It's yours now. Lisa shook her head frantically. I can't take your life savings. What about your nursing school dreams? Dreams can be delayed. Your safety can't. Maya pressed the items into Lisa's hands. Besides, what good is becoming a nurse if I can't help people when they really need it? Tommy tugged on Maya's shirt. Maya, are you coming with us on our adventure? Maya knelt down to his level, fighting back tears. No, sweetie. This adventure is just for you and your mom. But I want you to know that wherever you go, you'll always have a friend thinking about you. Lisa pulled Maya into a tight hug. I will. Never forget this kindness. Never. And someday when it's safe, I'll find a way to pay you back. Just take care of each other, Maya whispered. That's payment enough. As Lisa finished packing, Maya helped them carry their few belongings to her car. She would drive them to the bus station in the next town over, where they could catch a bus heading north without being seen by the investigators who were probably still watching the local station. During the drive, Maya explained everything she knew about the cabin in the town of Pine Ridge. It was small enough that strangers would be noticed, but remote enough that anyone looking for them would have to really search to find it. The medical clinic there had been struggling to find qualified help, and Lisa's experience would be valuable. There's a good elementary school in town, too, Maya added, glancing at Tommy in the rearview mirror. Small classes, nice teachers. You'd like it there, buddy. As they pulled up to the bus station, Maya felt her heart breaking. She had grown to love both Lisa and Tommy like family, and sending them away felt like losing a piece of herself. Lisa bought 2 tickets to a city about an hour past Pine Ridge, just to throw off anyone who might be tracking their movements. They would get off at Pine Ridge and never complete the journey to the final destination. The next bus north leaves in 20 minutes, Lisa said, clutching the tickets nervously. Maya walked them to the waiting area and knelt down to give Tommy one last hug. You be good for your mom, okay? And remember, no matter where you go, you're carrying a piece of my heart with you. Tommy hugged her tightly. I love you, Maya. Will I see you again? Someday, Maya promised, though she had no idea if that was true. As the bus pulled away from the station, Maya watched through the window as Lisa and Tommy found their seats. Lisa looked back one more time and mouthed the words, "Thank you," before the bus disappeared around the corner. Maya sat in her car for a long time afterward, crying for the friends she had just lost and praying that she had given them enough of a head start to build a new life somewhere safe. She thought about her empty bank account and the nursing school applications she would have to postpone, but she felt no regret. Sometimes the most important thing you can do is help someone else. Survive their darkest moment, even if it costs you everything you've worked for. Maya knew she had made the right choice, even though it meant starting over from nothing. The investigators would probably come back to question her again, but Maya was ready for them. She would tell them the truth, that she had never seen the woman in their photograph. Because the scared, desperate person they were hunting wasn't the same as the friend she had come to know and love. 6 months had passed since that tearful goodbye at the bus station, and Maya had almost given up hope of ever hearing from Lisa and Tommy again. She understood why they couldn't contact her directly. It would be too dangerous for everyone involved. But the silence was harder than she had expected. Maya continued working at Betty's diner, picking up extra shifts to rebuild her savings, account $1 at a time. The investigators had returned twice more in the first month, asking the same questions and getting the same answers. Eventually, they moved their search to other towns, other leads that had gone nowhere. Jerry, the diner owner, had noticed Maya's dedication and given her a small raise. You've been working like a woman on a mission, he had said with his gruff smile. Don't burn yourself out, kid. What Jerry didn't know was that Maya was indeed on a mission. Every extra dollar she earned went back into her college fund. She had applied for nursing school again, starting in the fall semester instead of spring. The delay had actually worked out better because it gave her time to take some prerequisite classes at the community college. On a quiet Thursday morning in Industrialist, March, Maya was wiping down tables when the mailman delivered the Daily Mail to the diner. Mixed in with the usual bills and advertisements was a postcard with no return address. The front showed a beautiful mountain landscape with snow-capped peaks and a crystal-clear lake. Maya's hands trembled as she turned it over and read the brief message written in familiar handwriting. The mountain air is wonderful for growing things. Little seeds are turning into strong plants. The garden is beautiful, and the flowers bloom brighter every day. Thank you for believing in sunshine after the storm. Forever grateful, a friend. Maya clutched the postcard to her chest, feeling tears of relief and joy streaming down her face. They were safe. They were not just surviving but thriving. The coded message was clear enough. Tommy was growing and happy, and Lisa had found peace in their new life. Jerry noticed Maya's emotional reaction and walked over with concern. "Everything all right there?" "Better than all right," Maya said, carefully tucking the postcard into her apron pocket. "I just got some really good news from an old friend." Meanwhile, 400 miles north in the small mountain town of Pine Ridge, Lisa was finishing her shift at the local medical clinic. She had been working there for 5 months now, and Dr. Peterson, the elderly physician who ran the practice, had become like a father figure to her and Tommy. Lisa went by the name Anna now, and Tommy had adapted quickly to being called by his middle name, James. The transition had been easier than she had expected, partly because the people of Pine Ridge were naturally welcoming, but also respectful of privacy. In a town of only 800 people, everyone knew everyone else's business. But they also understood that sometimes people came to the mountains to start fresh. The cabin Maya had given them had become more than just a shelter. It had become home. Lisa had spent her first month there just breathing, feeling truly safe for the first time in years. The isolation that might have felt lonely to some felt like protection to her. Tommy could play in the yard without her constantly watching for danger. "Anna, could you help me with these files before you go?" called Dr. Peterson from his office. Mrs. Henderson's test results came in. "Of course," Lisa replied, grateful for work that felt meaningful again. At the clinic, she was valued for her skills and treated with respect. Dr. Peterson had never asked for references or questioned her past. When she had applied for the job, he had simply given her a practical test of her medical knowledge and hired her on the spot. "You know," Dr. Peterson said as they organized patient files, "I've been thinking about expanding the clinic's services, maybe adding evening hours for people who work during the day. Would you be interested in taking on more responsibility?" Lisa felt a warm glow of pride. "I'd love that. I really enjoy this work." "Good. And how's young James doing in school? Is he settling in well?" "He loves it," Lisa said with a genuine smile. "His teacher says he's one of the brightest kids she's ever had. He's made friends with half the children in town." What Lisa didn't mention was how different Tommy, James, seemed now compared to their early days of running and hiding. The constant fear had left his eyes. He laughed freely, played without looking over his shoulder, and had started talking about what he wanted to be when he grew up. Last week he had announced that he wanted to be a doctor like Dr. Peterson so he could help people feel better. That evening, Lisa picked up Tommy from the after-school program at the community center. He ran to her with a drawing clutched in his small hands, his face beaming with excitement. "Mommy, look what I made. It's our house." Lisa looked at the crayon drawing of a small cabin surrounded by tall pine trees, with 2 stick figures standing. In front, one tall, one small. In the corner of the paper he had drawn what looked like a rainbow. "It's beautiful, sweetheart. Who's that in the picture?" "That's you and me at our real house. And that's a rainbow because Maya told me rainbows come after storms, and we don't have storms anymore." Lisa's eyes filled with tears as she hugged her son. Even after all these months, he still talked about Maya regularly. She had become like a fairy godmother in his young mind, the magical person who had helped them find their happy ending. "Do you miss Maya?" Lisa asked gently. "Yes, but not. The sad kind of missing. The happy kind, because I know she loves us even when she's far away." That night, after Tommy was asleep, Lisa sat at the small kitchen table in their cabin and wrote in the journal she had been keeping since they arrived in Pine Ridge. She wrote about her gratitude for Maya's sacrifice, about Tommy's progress in school, about the way the townspeople had accepted them without questions. She also wrote about her plans for the future. Dr. Peterson had mentioned that if the clinic expansion went well, there might be opportunities for her to take on even more responsibilities, maybe even help train other medical assistants. For the first time in years, Lisa was thinking beyond just survival. She was making plans. 3 weeks later, Maya received another postcard, this one showing a field of wildflowers. The message was even briefer. "The little flower has started kindergarten and loves learning about everything. The garden keeper is thinking about expanding to help other gardens grow. Peace and gratitude always. Maya smiled as she read it, understanding that Tommy was thriving in school and that Lisa was planning to advance her career. She kept both postcards in a small box beside her bed, treasures that reminded her that kindness really could change lives. Maya's own life was moving forward too. She had been accepted into the nursing program and would start classes in the fall. Jerry had agreed to work around her school schedule, and she had even started dating Ben, a paramedic who shared her passion for helping others. "You know what I love about you?" Ben had said during their third date. "You have this way of seeing the good in people even when they can't see it in themselves." Maya had smiled, thinking about Lisa and Tommy, and the chance encounter that had changed all their lives. "I learned from someone special that sometimes the smallest kindness can make the biggest difference." 1 year after their departure, Maya received a final postcard, this one showing a mountain sunrise. The message read, "The garden has grown, strong roots, and is ready to help other seeds find their way to the light. A guardian angel's gift keeps giving. Until we meet again in the sunshine." Maya understood. Lisa was ready to help other women who might be running from dangerous situations, just as Maya had helped her. The cycle of kindness was continuing, reaching people they might never meet but whose lives would be